Thank y'all. Before I get started, I want to mention that we're having a meet and greet at 2 p.m. at cabin 327, and everybody's invited. Even if you're wearing a tape read shirt, I'll let you come. I got a funny story, actually a true story. In DeSoto County, they were knocking doors. It was a bunch of lieutenant governors, people knocking doors in neighborhoods. And one of my supporters, they came up to their door and he said, "Why are you supporting Lieutenant Governor?" And he said, "I'm not. I'm supporting Robert Foster. I'm just getting paid to do this." And that's a true story. But so y'all are welcome to come too, because you might not ever know. You might be looking to vote for me anyway, so that's great. But I want to tell y'all just a little bit about me and my background. I'm a farmer and a small business owner from DeSoto County. And my family and I have put together a unique business. It's an agritourism operation that my mother started in 1996, and I took over and started running 14 years ago. What we do is we grow crops, blueberries, blackberries, pumpkins, and Christmas trees, and people bring their children and grandchildren out to our farm to have an on-farm experience, to pick those crops, and to have entertainment while they're there. We've got petting zoo, pony rides, and hay rides, and a corn maze in the fall, and Santa at our farm at Christmas. And it's really grown into quite a large operation over the last 14 years. We have over 100 employees work for us every year, and we have over 50,000 visitors come through our farm during our fall season. It's now the largest agritourism operation in Mississippi and one of the largest in the Mid-South. And I tell you all that to tell you this, that I've got a unique background in this race for government. I have run a business the last 14 years, and I know what it's like to struggle and to try to keep my doors open and to make payroll and to make tough decisions for me and my employees. Because if you don't have and take care of your employees and have good employees, your business will not prosper. And so I understand what it takes with government regulation and taxation, how that really affects the small business owner and the working people of our state. And there's some really common sense business solutions to some of the problems that we face in Mississippi. And one of those I see is really common sense. We put everybody on this one-track path to college some 20-something years ago. And it's been an absolute failure in our public school system. It's not the teacher's fault. It's our fault as a government to put everybody in this box on this one-track path, because everybody's not meant to go to college. We have got to put career tech and vo-tech back into every single school in this state. Our young people need the opportunity to learn a skilled trade, and we don't need to wait till they graduate. We need to start teaching them while they're in the K-12 program so that they can have the opportunity to be exposed to welding and plumbing and HVAC, electrical, carpentry, mechanics, and computer programming. Because I know some of the most smartest people and the most people that have been most successful in life are people that are skilled tradesmen. They're not all college degree people. And we need more of them, because I can tell you as a small business owner, I hire a lot of these young people in my business. And I can tell you, unless their parents and grandparents taught them somewhere along the way, when they graduate high school, they can't even push a broom or read a tape measure anymore. And that's a real problem. It's a real problem. And we need to fix that. And we can fix that. And the other thing that we have to have a serious conversation about, and career politicians are always scared to talk about it, is our tax structure in Mississippi. You see, we've got one of the worst rated tax structures in the United States of America for business and industry. We're currently ranked 31. We overtax the working class, we overtax the small business owner and the professional, and they're leaving our state. And we've done some work to work towards making that better, but we've still got a long ways to go. And what we need to do, and what I'm proposing for the state of Mississippi to seriously consider, is to fully repeal the personal income tax on people's paychecks. Because it's not the right type of way to tax people. We need to move to a consumption-tax-based system, a use and sales tax system, just like they have in Tennessee, Texas, and Florida, where everybody pays their fair share. If you're a tourist in our state, if you're a drug dealer on the corner, you got a pocket full of cash, they're not going to pay income tax. If you're living off the federal government and you should be working, but you're taking advantage of the system, you're not going to pay income tax. But you're going to have to pay your fair share of the roads you ride around on all day while everybody else is at work. And that's the way it ought to be, and that's the only fair way to tax. Now I want to talk about health care, because one of my opponents likes to get up and tout that he's against Obamacare expansion. He's the only candidate against Obamacare expansion in Mississippi. Well, here's the facts. He's been in charge of the Senate, Lieutenant Governor, for 8 years. And under his leadership, Mississippi has one of the highest percentages of people in the United States of America on Obamacare. So if you're not for Obamacare, then why do we have one of the highest percentages of people in the United States of America in Mississippi on Obamacare year after year after year? And so here's the reality of the situation. The ACA is the law of the land, and I don't like it any more than anybody else, but that's how the money flows, is through that ACA program. We have to do what is in the best interest of the people of Mississippi, and the people that are hurting right now are the working class, the people that pay taxes and work, and the only option they have right now is to go to the emergency room because they can't afford to pay for private insurance and their house note. It's not their fault. It's not the state of Mississippi's fault. It's the federal government's fault for intruding into something that they had no business getting in to begin with. So we've got to fix it. We have to put all options on the table, and we've got to come up with a solution to keep our rural hospitals open in Mississippi. And as a business-minded person, I'm going to look at all options. Now, when it comes to the Second Amendment, I've gotten an A rating from the NRA every year. I didn't get the endorsement in this race for governor, but you know what? I don't need their endorsement. That's just political nonsense. I've got the only endorsement that matters, and that's a concealed carry permit. And if I'm wearing pants, I'm packing, and that's the only endorsement that I need. And when it comes to abortion, for somebody that has been in the legislature, running the Senate for 8 years, they killed the pro-life heartbeat bill for 7 years by sending it to one of the most liberal committee chairmen's committees every single year. And then they wait until the last year when they run for governor to pass the heartbeat bill. Well, I helped write the language that ultimately got put into that bill. And so I am pro-life, and I don't need to get in front of the cameras everywhere I go and try to take the glory from God for saving life. It goes to Him, not to a politician. I see I'm out of time, so I'm going to wrap it up with this. The last thing I want to say is that everybody wants to know, why did I decide to run for governor after only one term as a state representative? Why not wait 8 years or 16 years until you've got more political capital, people ready to endorse you, money in your campaign fund? Well, I can tell you, after being there for 4 years as a state representative, that's the exact problem with our state of Mississippi. We've been putting people on a career path to politics for so long that by the time they get to where they're supposed to be to help our state, they owe so many favors and make so many promises, they can't do what's in the best interest of the people of Mississippi. And I haven't taken any donations with any strings attached, and I haven't taken any political endorsements from anybody that made owes a favor to me, and I don't owe them any favors. If they've done it, it's been on their own free will because they believe in me and my campaign message. And the only promise I've made is the same one that I'll make to each and every one of you here today, that if you will honor me with your vote on August 6th in the Republican primary for governor, that I will put God first in everything that I do, and I will do it as in the best interest of all Mississippians. Now may God bless these United States, and may God bless the great state of Mississippi. Thank you.